sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloons.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloons.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloon.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloons.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloons.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloons.
sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloon.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloon.
Make sure to stay tuned to learn more about our fun mystery balloons.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone.
Good afternoon. My name is King Northington, class of 2020. I've been a part of the KIPP team and family for the past
Good afternoon and welcome everyone.
Good afternoon. My name is King Northington, class of 2020. I've been a part of the KIPP team and family for the past 8 years. I'm a proud graduate of KIPP Sunnyside High School. While at KIPP, I was involved in a few different organizations, such as the Students for Social Justice, class president, a 3-year all-state football player, and leader of the investment club.
And my name is Dan Caesar, Regional Superintendent of KIPP Texas Public Schools in Houston. I'm a proud alumnus of both Tufts University and Rice University. We're honored to be sharing this space with you today, 6 feet apart, where we prove the possible. Today, we are surrounded by boxes of personal protective equipment and furniture for our new campuses as we get ready for the day that we go back into the classrooms and see our KIPPsters in person. King, I see you've come today with some school spirit. What college are you going to?
This fall, I'll be attending Prairie View A&M University.
And what are you going to major in?
I'll be a management information systems major.
I know that Prairie View A&M is happy to have you, and we're excited to see you continue to do all that you do.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to it. While we're on the subject of college, in the collegiate theme of our event today, we have encouraged viewers to express their own school spirit by wearing something that represents their alma mater. Even if we're doing this virtually, this will be a fun and interactive way for us to stay connected and see each other.
That's right, because going virtual won't stop us from seeing you shine. We look forward to seeing festive displays of college pride, such as shirts, hats, ties, and scarves to celebrate your school through pictures and video submissions.
But what about boomerangs?
Yeah, even boomerangs.
Today is what millennials call Throwback Thursday. Anyone willing to participate, feel free to also submit any photos taken from the day you graduated. You can also submit them to the email at the bottom of this screen, and we will display them at the end of our program. Thank you.
Thanks, King. As many of you know, this event was scheduled to take place back in March as our 19th annual event and our very first luncheon. And although COVID had different plans for us and we couldn't make this our first luncheon, we have made it the first virtual event in KIPP Texas Houston history. And we're excited about it. Do you know why, King?
No, but I have a feeling you're gonna tell me anyway.
Because it means that we get to travel outside with all of you and take you on our very own field trip.
Actually, at KIPP, we call them field lessons because KIPP always has a lesson in the end.
You're bright and you're quick. Thank you, King. Correction, taking you on your very own field lesson as you hear from some of our KIPPsters coming to you from some of our schools, like this one at 10711 KIPP Way, home of the first KIPP elementary, middle, and high school in the country.
But that's not it. We will also hop on the imaginary bus and travel down to 6100 Main Street. Does that address ring any bells?
I think it might.
That's home to the Rice University Owls. Today, we'll get a chance to fulfill our original plan of honoring a remarkable couple as trailblazers in the fight for equitable education in our city. Rice University President David Lebron and the inspirational Wai Ping Sun.
That's great. We'll also get to watch 2 student performances and hear from both big and little KIPPsters, including a couple of other KIPP alums like yourself.
Well then, let's get this started. It is now my honor to introduce to you the CEO of KIPP Texas Public Schools.
Miss Seba Ali.
Good afternoon. My name is Seba Ali, and I have the honor of leading KIPP Texas Public Schools as CEO. 20 years ago, I started this work at KIPP because I believe in the power of education. As a child of immigrants, education was a ticket out of poverty for my family. My dad grew up poor in India and earned a scholarship to study in the US. That scholarship from someone we don't know changed my family's trajectory and created the opportunity for all of us to have a better life. My mother was an educator, so from an early age, I spent lots of time in my mom's classrooms. My family's values are deeply rooted in the belief that education has and will continue to open doors, create opportunity, and change the world. As a proud alumna of UC Berkeley and Stanford University, indeed, education has created the opportunity for me to make an impact. It's that purpose of helping build a better tomorrow that keeps me here at KIPP almost 20 years later. Rebuilding our educational system during COVID and making sure that every step of the way we are caring for our families, communities, and staff has been by far the toughest challenge in KIPP's 25-year history, and certainly in my career. Our families and children are facing tremendous challenges on a daily basis, from food and job insecurity to trauma and anxiety. As a team, we've made a commitment to lead with love and care in every interaction, while keeping the sacred promises we've made to our KIPPsters to provide a joyful, academically excellent education. Although our path may have taken a slight turn during this pandemic, our mission remains the same. The love, care, and compassion our teachers and leaders have shown our KIPPsters and their families during this time deeply inspires me. Since COVID began, we have served almost 775,000 meals to KIPPsters, their siblings, and children in our communities. We distributed 13,000 laptops last spring to our KIPPsters and another 16,000 laptops this fall so that every KIPPster has one-to-one technology. In addition, thanks to you, we raised more than $1.3 million for KIPP Texas families facing financial hardship through our COVID-19 and Beyond Fund. $600,000 in electronic gift cards was designated to help families meet their immediate needs in the spring, with the second half of the funds distributed over the summer. As we have kicked off the 2021 school year over the last few weeks, we are focused both on the immediate and long-term needs of our KIPPsters. While we could have never imagined starting school in the middle of a pandemic or starting the school year virtually, our long-term strategy and mission have not changed. our goal is to one day educate 100,000 children in our state, educating nearly 10% of the 1.3 million children in Texas who today don't have access to a high-quality education. KIPP Texas currently has 59 schools educating more than 30,000 students. In Houston, we have grown to 34 schools with 19,000 students. In the next 5 years, as part of our Rise Together strategic plan, we plan to double in size across the state and in Houston. Our 3 priorities for this Rise Together strategic plan ensure that all of our KIPPsters have the skills and confidence to lead fulfilling lives and choose their paths, college, career, and beyond. Over the next 5 years, we will prioritize providing joyful, academically excellent pre-K instruction to 3- and 4-year-olds in all of our elementary schools across the state, developing and retaining the best teachers and school leaders in the country, and staying with and supporting our KIPPsters through college and career through our KIPP Through College program. By adding 12 new full-day pre-K programs across the state, including an additional 4 new pre-K full-day programs here in Houston, we are starting earlier with our KIPPsters because we know that a strong pre-K education leads to better outcomes throughout a child's education. By focusing on talent, retention, and development, we'll continue to deepen our investment in our diverse teachers and school leaders. Through new programs like our Principal in Residency program, we are growing the next set of amazing KIPP school leaders in-house, ensuring they have the learning opportunities they need to hit the ground running. Finally, by continuing to invest in our KIPP Through College program, we are focused on matching our KIPPsters to the right college, helping them persist in college, and making sure they are prepared to embark on a successful career path. It is essential that all of our alumni, like King Northington, know that they are never alone in their journey through college, career, and beyond. As we say at KIPP, once a KIPPster, always a KIPPster. We invest long-term in our KIPPsters. As we embark on our 5-year Rise Together plan, we know that this year will present even more unforeseen challenges and hurdles, some of which we cannot predict. With your love and support, we will find a way, and our promises to our KIPPsters will remain sacred. So thank you. Thank you for believing, and thank you for proving that our KIPPsters will rise together. Stay well and safe. I look forward to connecting with you again soon, hopefully in person.
I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out, find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sail past where it's been charted, roll your sleeves up and let's get started. Together we can change the world.
afternoon. My name is Allison Thacker. I am the KIPP Texas Houston Regional Board Chair. My husband, Troy Thacker, and I have the honor of being the 2020 chairs for this first ever Houston Virtual Luncheon. And thank you so much to the choir from the KIPP Sharpstown College Prep, led by Alicia Jones, for that beautiful song we heard, Together We Can Change the World. And a big thank you to all of you for tuning in today for this virtual luncheon. I know it's not exactly the luncheon we all initially anticipated, but hopefully you're enjoying your afternoon and you're going to get a great glimpse of all the magical things that happen at KIPP. We would also like to take this opportunity, Troy and I would, to thank and recognize the KIPP Texas Board of Directors, the KIPP Texas Houston Knoll Regional Board members, and KIPP PALS board members. Thank you so much, board members, for all your dedication and commitment. Thinking about the theme of today's event, Rise Together, I think you, of course, have to think about growth for our KIPPsters and for our city. When I think about why do Troy and I support KIPP, firstly, I think about my mom. My mom got up every day to go to work as a middle school teacher in a public school. She helped students from every type of background make more out of their lives, and she brought joy into their everyday. And so for me, I always want to support teachers, and I want to support students to have great opportunities to go to school, to learn, and to build opportunity for themselves. Secondly, Troy and I attended Rice University. We had great public school preparation. We got to go to Rice University, a place where we were able to attend because of the availability of scholarships as well. And so we want to continue to make this opportunity available for other students. And it's one of the things that's most exciting about KIPP is how it helps students get prepared to live those choice-filled lives. We want to encourage all of you out there in the audience to also help us continue this focus on rising together. We want our KIPPsters to have fulfilling lives and build a more just world. So please consider donating through the Text to Give platform or by visiting our website at www.kipptexas.org/donate. This afternoon only showed you a small glimpse of what's going on in our KIPP schools around the city, and we'd like to encourage you to learn more. We'd like you to visit, whether digitally right now or in person in the future. So please sign up for a tour if you're interested at houstonevents@kipptexas.org. It's now my honor to introduce little KIPPster, Kaylee Garza, and KIPP alumna, Monica Guevara.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for virtually joining us today. My name is Kaylee Mia Garza, and I am a proud member of the class of 2028 at KIPP Shine Prep, the first KIPP elementary school to open in the nation. I'm very honored to be a KIPPster because I know that everyone here truly cares about my education, my family, and so much more.
And my name is Monica Guevara, proud KIPP alum from the class of 2011. You may also remember us from the invitation you received pre-COVID.
Our first true moment of fame.
Yes, Kaylee. We're here today to tell you about our KIPP Full Circle experience. I attended the schools that are here on Kaylee's campus and that she will go to after KIPP Shine Prep. KIPP Academy Middle School, the first KIPP school in the country, and KIPP Houston High School, the first KIPP high school in the country. I'm also a proud University of Houston alum, go Cougs, and I'm proud to work at Texas Children's Hospital, a place where children and women can receive exceptional care regardless of their background and regardless of their needs. Families can always depend on Texas Children's Hospital and our amazing team to create a healthier future. But most importantly, I'm a proud mother to my 3-year-old son who just started pre-K3 this school year here at KIPP Shine, and to my beautiful and smart daughter, Kaylee.
Thanks, Mom. I joined the KIPP family when I was only 3 years old, but my family has been a part of KIPP since 1999. My aunt had the opportunity to be in one of the first founding classes of KIPP Academy Middle School. My mom and dad then joined the KIPP family in 2003. My youngest aunt got the privilege of being in the founding class of KIPP Shine Prep. And now we're excited that my little brother will also get the opportunity to follow in our footsteps, even if it's virtually for now.
As you can see, my family and I are huge believers of KIPP. We believe that KIPP is an amazing place to grow. Not only are you able to receive a stellar education, but you're also a part of something bigger, a family and a community that cares about their students for life, like KIPP Through College, who still stays connected with me. KIPP doesn't just impact the student, but the entire family. It can have a generational effect, one that inspires us to rise together as a family to make a difference in our community, to build a better tomorrow.
I know I want to make a difference by being a veterinarian when I grow up, to help animals that can't help themselves. And although my mom and dad are proud UH Cougs, my heart belongs to Texas A&M University and their amazing College of Veterinary Medicine. At KIPP, we believe that team beats individual. We remember and we appreciate. Therefore, I'd like for all of you to please share in this moment of gratitude with us. We would like to remember and appreciate all of our awesome teachers, staff, and parents who always persist with purpose and are willing to do anything to help us succeed, especially in these difficult times. All of our friends tuning in today who chase excellence with us.
Thank you for rising together with us. Thank you for believing in me, my sisters, and now my 2 children, who along with the rest of the KIPPsters are building a more just world.
Even though our event is virtual, we didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to bring you something as fun as our signature mystery balloons. How can you get a mystery balloon? Well, you could buy a balloon from one of our 3 levels, $100, $300, or $500. You will receive a mystery prize of similar value. Here are some of the prizes that you could get. If you would like to see all the businesses you could get a prize from, please visit our website for a full list of mystery balloon donors. I think I'll ask my mom if we could buy a balloon so we could try to get the Canes basket.
Snaps to you, Kaylee, for those amazing selling skills. Who can say no to that? I know Texas A&M University will be happy to welcome you in 2028, and we will be with you every step of the way. Thank you, Monica, for sharing how KIPP can go beyond impacting one student, but a whole family and a community. We look forward to sharing this journey with you as a KIPP alumna and a KIPP parent. Thank you for entrusting us with both Kaylee and now Noah. Speaking of community, I am so proud of the community of KIPPsters that we have. And part of that community is KIPP alumna Christine Meyer-Taylor. Christine will highlight her journey through college, career, and beyond as she gets to interview her university president and my friend, David LeBron.
Thanks, Seba. As Seba mentioned, I'm Christine Taylor, class of 2005 from KIPP Academy Middle School and 2-time Rice University alum. So in 2009, I graduated with my bachelor's in sociology. And then in 2019, I graduated with my MBA in marketing and entrepreneurship. And today it is my honor to speak with Harvard College and Harvard Law School graduate, former professor and faculty member from UCLA, NYU, and Columbia School of Law, KIPP Texas Houston Regional Board member, and Rice University's president since 2004, my university president, David LeBron.
Thank you so much, Christine, for that introduction. It's really great to be with you here today and reconnect, especially since you were in the first class admitted during my time as president. So I sort of take personal responsibility for you. And I know I can confidently say on behalf of both KIPP and Rice that we're really proud of what you have done and achieved. But tell us now a little bit about your experience since college.
Sure. So when I graduated in 2009, I decided to join Teach for America. And for several years, I taught at a KIPP school, KIPP Spirit College Prep, where I actually got a chance to teach alongside one of my own KIPP teachers, which was a really cool experience. And then from there, I moved to Georgia and started a tutoring company, Aegis Scholastic. And in 2013, I had the opportunity to move to the United Arab Emirates, where I taught math and English for 4 years in Abu Dhabi, and also got to just travel all around the world and see things that I never imagined I would have a chance to see. So I came back home to Houston 3 years ago to start my MBA and then started full-time with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise last year as a product manager. One thing I would love to do in the future is to create or direct a STEM program for girls, just to really expose them to the many exciting career opportunities that exist in those fields that we don't necessarily learn about in school, and, teach financial literacy and coding and entrepreneurship and other really useful skills. And, now as a parent, I have the chance to do those things with my 8-year-old daughter, Juliana, and I would love to be able to do it for other students as well.
Wow. Well, speaking of Juliana, I think we have to make sure she's got some Rice gear, at least as good as the gear that you have on, which I'm glad you wore today, to make sure she can start concentrating on being a Rice owl in the class of 2034, I think.
She's already expressed that she wants to go to Rice, so I think we're good.
That's great.
Well, thank you, President Lebron. I'm so excited for the opportunity to interview you today on behalf of all the KIPPsters as both the proud KIPP and Rice alum. So without further ado, let's get this started. So educational equity is an important part of what KIPP does. What does educational equity look like to you? I mean, for example, what effect do you think that this pandemic has had on the education gap?
This is really the fundamental question, and one of the most important questions of our time, Christine. For me, educational equity means assuring opportunity to those who work hard to achieve the skills and knowledge that they need to achieve in today's world. And it means raising their aspirations. It's not enough just to teach our students. We also have to inculcate in them a sense of what they can achieve and what's possible. And I assume both of those were really critical to your success as well. And it means that at many stages in their education, they have a chance to raise their achievement to a higher level. Every stage of educational equity is important. We can't just talk about preschool or K through 12 or college. It's really one of the great things that our country is and can be and must do better, is really telling people that at every stage you have the opportunity to do even better. And that's from really preschool through graduate school as far as we're concerned. And at Rice, that means taking chances on people, for example, seeing in them not only what they have achieved, but also their potential and how we can help them. Every child is entitled to talented teachers who care deeply about their opportunities. The pandemic has had a terrible effect on increasing the equity gap and the opportunity gap. And give you one example, a study that found that for upper income students during the pandemic, they actually significantly increased their progress in math. Now, why would that be? Well, one, they don't have a lot of distractions. They're not going out. But two, their parents, in many cases, went out and hired tutors during the pandemic. So they had that personal attention they might not have otherwise gotten online. But for the lower income students, they actually declined substantially in this study by 36%. So that's just one example. Lower income students have an educational disadvantage on multiple fronts, whether it's technology or aspects of their home environment. They need a supportive set both of classmates and a supportive school environment, just like the kind of environment that KIPP offers its students.
For sure. And I can attest to that. My daughter, well, she has a former teacher as a mother, right? So she was over here learning algebra at age 8 while she's been out of school. And I know that we're very privileged to have the opportunity for me to work from home and stuff like that. So I definitely agree with you on those things. Well, from your experience, both as a university president and as a father, how do you feel that the pandemic has affected college students? And, I think about my own Rice experience and the things that really made me feel at home at Rice and the memories I look back on fondly. orientation week and being able to go to my college magistrar's house or hanging out at the coffee house, lunches in a crowded servery. Like there's so many things like that. So can you sort of talk a little bit about the steps that Rice is taking to create innovative ways to supplement the college experience for its students during the pandemic?
Yeah, you're really right, Christine. Even those of us who are older maybe can project back and remember those years and how important those connections were, those social relationships, the chats we had with people at all hours of the day. And a lot of that can be done on social media. And what we've seen is how eager our students are to return to the campus. We offered them in the spring a great online experience, but they really want to be back on the campus. This past weekend, we just welcomed them back, and they and their families were so grateful that they had that opportunity. And so, as I said before, they need a supportive environment and social connection to be at their best. And that's especially important in a very demanding academic environment like Rice University, and particularly important for the low-income, first-generation students. They need that environment, and that's really what they are telling us. And so we've invested and make a lot at Rice in making our campus safe for our students to return. But the issues facing college and high school students are quite different in terms of risk. And at least in the college environment, we have some advantages around that, and that we can create a little bit more of an isolated community. We're also investing in improving the quality of online education and creating spaces where the students can have gatherings with safe physical distancing. At Rice, we got a lot of publicity for the tents that we've put up, and actually some of them are really sort of temporary buildings with air conditioning and electronics, and some of them are actually just open tents. And that was a creative way to be able to bring the students together. And we're just in the middle of O Week now and planning activities in which social distancing is possible, for example. But they need that, and it requires innovation and creativity. Both the online experience and the on-campus experience to be safe require that innovation. And what I would say is, in terms of the online experience, it's not just the classroom experience that needs to be recreated a bit, it's the social experience as well. Now, of course, that's an area where the students generally are far ahead of the adults. We hold meetings discussing how they can socially engage, and they basically tell us how they have already socially engaged, and the educational process often runs in the opposite direction.
Fair enough. Okay, well, I only have one more question. What advice would you share with your younger self that KIPPsters listening today can carry on with them on their journey to and through college?
I sure wish I had the opportunity to share some advice with my younger self. I don't know if my younger self would listen or argue, but I'm going to try to answer the question anyway. I got 4 pieces of very quick advice that I might impart. First, develop and nurture your friendships in school and college and afterwards. I think you've referred to that. They are really a lifelong resource for you. And the working world's great too, but the college really can develop that kind of foundational set of friendships that we need throughout our lives. Second piece of advice, and a lot of people just kind of don't hear this, always seek help and advice. And help is something that people need, especially when they aren't achieving what they want or expect. But in fact, we can always use help. And similarly, even when everything seems to be going great, advice from teachers and classmates might tell you that actually it's not going as great as you think, or maybe you could even do better. So I encourage people always to think, where can I get advice no matter what's going on? Third, develop both knowledge and skills. And colleges and universities are getting much better at this. For example, we have now leadership opportunities at Rice, leadership training, but knowledge and skills aren't the same thing. And if you, for example, want to be a baseball player, you need to know the rules and strategies of the game. But of course, you also need to develop your hitting, running, and fielding skills. And the truth is, everything in life is like that. You need to know things to speak intelligently, but you need to develop your speaking skills to communicate effectively. So I think students should enter their education thinking, how can I develop my knowledge? and how can I develop my skills, and both are part of the process. And last and fourth, I'd like to pass on some advice from Mae Jemison, the first Black woman to travel to space, who gave a great commencement speech 3 years ago. Like most commencement speeches, it was about 20 minutes long, but she did something truly great in the speech, which is at the end and the beginning, she boiled it down to 5 words: live deeply and look up. Find the things in which you will very deeply commit yourself and engage in, but at the same time, look up and explore the world and be open to new things. I think that's the essential attitude you need to bring to your whole educational experience.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think we have a little bit of time left before we conclude our interview. Is there any question that you'd like to ask me?
Well, I'd like to ask you, what are 1 or 2 things that you took from being a KIPPster and then a Rice Owl that enabled your success and have really impacted your life?
Okay, sure. I mean, no one can argue about the excellent education that both of these institutions offer, but it was the people, the community, and the support system that meant the most to me and kept me coming back to both. My KIPP teachers really helped me to define my character and my work ethic. I think in some of the most impressionable years, adolescence, and I'm sure I wasn't always the most pleasant as a teenager, so I thank them. And KIPP instilled in me that sense of team and family that I continue to feel even now, 20 plus years later. In high school, I had HSP, the Houston Scholars Program, that provided that, and it was closely linked with both KIPP and Rice. So I actively sought that out for college as well. And through KIPP and then through HSP, I got to spend time on a lot of different college campuses and had the good fortune of getting into some really great schools: Stanford, Georgetown, Emory, Babson. But in the end, there was really only one place where I felt I would get the level of rigor and the intimate sense of community that I wanted, and that was at Rice. At KIPP, I learned the values and the principles, but then at Rice, I really honed them and was able to make lifelong friends and really learn who I am at my core. So,
well, I couldn't ask, I think, for a better advertisement for Rice than that. Really, Christine, it's students like you who define our purpose at Rice, and it's just so heartening to see what you have achieved, but also how you are also giving back. I'm just so grateful to have had this opportunity to reconnect with you.
Same. This has really been just an awesome chance to catch up and to really express my appreciation for both Rice and for KIPP. So thanks again, President Lebron, for your time and your wisdom and your commitment to our KIPPsters. And now I'm going to pass it back to Seba and little KIPPster Amy Diaz, who will, in the speed of light, transfer it over to you, President Lebron, and paying for a very special recognition on behalf of all the KIPPsters.
Thanks.
Okay. Have a good one.
I have the privilege of being here today at the home of our special friends, Y. Ping Sun and David Lebron, who, as many of us know, are strong believers and advocates for quality education for all children. Many KIPPsters, little and big, including me, have been fortunate to benefit from mentorship by these two incredible leaders. Ping and David have planted seeds of knowledge and inspiration in every corner of our city through their commitment to building a better tomorrow. And standing near me is Amy Diaz, junior at KIPP Connect High School, who will say a few words about how Ping planted these seeds in her heart.
Thank you, Miss Ali. Good afternoon. My name is Amy Diaz, class of 2022. I've had the pleasure of being part of the founding class of KIPP Connect High School and KIPP Connect Middle School. This means that I have been at KIPP for 6 years, However, I will soon be outnumbered in my years at KIPP by my younger brother, who is part of the founding KIPP Connect primary class of 2027. In my 6 years at KIPP, I learned that it is not enough to just get good grades. Part of receiving a well-rounded education is implementing values that enhance personal character. One of our KIPP values states, as a team and family, we persist with purpose. I believe that with this mindset, we can overcome anything that comes our way. Like an exam, a difficult conversation with a friend, or even a global pandemic, I know that as a KIPPster, I am encouraged to persist with purpose through anything that I do. Today, I would like to talk about the takeaway message from the Leadership Speaker Series visit that my class received from the lovely Miss Sun. Her words to persevere through any hardships resonate with me to this day. This message to keep an optimistic and persistent attitude under any circumstance keeps me motivated, something that has become crucial over the last couple of months. During her visit, she described some of the hardships she faced to get to where she is now. Being the daughter of immigrants, Miss Sun's story sounded a lot like my own. My parents immigrated from Mexico and persisted with purpose to give me and my little brother the life that we have now. Her story, along with that of my parents, made me realize that by setting goals for myself and staying positive, along with being persistent, I can achieve anything and become successful in life. As my graduation day nears, I look forward to seeing the proud faces of my parents, as I will be the first person in my family to go to college. I'm not quite sure what my future will look like, but I do know where my passion lies, and that is with chemistry. In fact, one of the many things that I'm persisting with purpose for is the plan that after graduation, I want to study chemical engineering right here where I stand today at the Rice campus. Previously, I was still deciding where I wanted to go for college, but Miss Sun definitely convinced me that Rice is the place I want to go. There will be challenges along the way, but I will make sure, just like KIPP and Miss Sun have taught us, to keep a positive outlook and enduring attitude under any circumstance. Thank you.
David and Ping, thank you for planting seeds in KIPPsters like Amy and Christine, who are the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you for believing in each of our KIPPsters and for helping us build a more just world through your leadership, passion, and commitment to education. At Rice, you have created a special community that allows young adults like Christine to rise together. And you have inspired so many KIPPsters to do the same through your leadership talks and longtime participation on our Houston Regional Board and previously on the KIPP Foundation Board. It is our honor and privilege to recognize both of you today. To always remember this special moment and show our deep appreciation, we will plant a tree at one of our new KIPP campuses in Houston as a symbol for the seeds you have planted for so many children.
Thank you so much, Seba. Ping and I are truly honored, but this is not about us. This is about our kids. It is about educational equity, and it is about opportunity. Every one of our kids deserves an opportunity to develop their aspirations and realize those aspirations. We're in a time where we realize more than ever the importance of building equity. And the educational pillar of that is certainly one of the most important. And we don't know a better organization than KIPP that does that for our children, inspires not only the children in the KIPP schools, but our school teachers and leaders across the nation. It's us who are grateful to KIPP.
I'd like to say thank you to KIPP leadership for your guidance of the KIPPsters, especially during this pandemic and beyond. I'd like to say thank you to the teachers and staff for your dedication and care for the KIPPsters. Of course, I want to say thank you to the KIPPsters and for your hard work and perseverance. I truly enjoy interacting with KIPPsters, students like Amy Diaz and others. I want to say thank you to the supporters for your believing in KIPPsters and your financial support. I know all of you are supporters, but I hope you will encourage your friends and colleagues to become KIPP supporters so that more children, regardless of their ethnicity and financial resources, will have a chance for quality education so that they can become leaders and contributing members in our community, in our city, in our country, in our world. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Long time no see, but I'm back. Don't forget, you still have an opportunity to purchase one of our mystery balloons. As Kaylee mentioned earlier, when you purchase a mystery balloon, you have a chance to win one of our mystery prizes that were donated to us by the businesses listed on our website. Purchase a mystery balloon, and you might get the lucky chance to win this Crave gift card, or perhaps one from Dessert Gallery. If you have a sweet tooth like me, this would be perfect.
Here we are, students sitting
with the wonders of the world,
with papers and pens.
with values and discipline.
But I wouldn't trade it for anything because my dreams are so big,
There's so much uncharted territory.
waiting for me to explore.
And my teachers remind me of this every day. And that's why
I love coming to KIPP.
I've been a KIPPster since kindergarten, and I know persistence like it's the back of my hand. Hard work and not giving up.
Even when things get hard.
Like when I conditioned and played baseball, all while maintaining honor roll and starting lead in the stage plays. KIPP teaches me how to take on any curveball life throws at me, and how to use my voice because it counts, it matters.
Exactly. I used to feel like an oddball and an outlier, when really, I was balled up, outlying away from the world, because I was too shy to speak, like my tongue was under lock and key. However, when I came to KIPP, I found family in these friends. Here we are so closely bonded. You have no choice but to get to know people, learn about their lives, and they learn about mine. I found soccer buddies and science lovers. Look at me now. I'm in front of you sharing my story.
yes, everyone has a story to tell or a story to write down, which is what my teachers have taught me very well to do. How to be a wordsmith and move with confidence, which is all setting me up to become the president that I one day hope to become. As your president, I know I must honor myself and honor the people and build this nation up until we are scraping the sky. And no pandemic can pull us down.
Together we will rise.
Rise back in our jobs, rise in school, and rise every time. Life gets hazy and feels unfair. There's always sunshine behind the storm.
And KIPP is a river that keeps flowing into us, giving us hope and high expectations.
Like for me, I see myself being a wildlife biologist, making sure habitats are safe homes, making sure the animal species is not only surviving, but soaring. Wildlife is worthy too, and who's going to be the person to tell the world that? Me, the data I collect, the records I keep, the regulations I enforce. Go green, even when things feel misty blue. Like in a time like this, when our world is rocked by a global pandemic, and we strive for social justice, because without justice, there is no peace, because Black Lives Matter. And when we band together around this, we rise.
As a matter of fact, all life should be treated
Like the ocean.
Big, important, and filling up space. And if they can't be the ocean, then there leaves no hope for me. See, at KIPP, I learned we don't only have a responsibility to ourselves, but also have a responsibility
To others, that is to protect, learn from, and love.
Day after day,
we learn these values.
They flow through our bloodstream.
Thanks to our history,
our teachers,
our motivators,
the ones that keep pushing us towards excellence. We soak it up like a sponge, because we are the ones we've been waiting for.
We are the change we seek.
We owe our future
the best future, and we will continue to let our education flow, and run into us, just like a river rushing into a lake. Because education is a movement from darkness to light. And I am 1,000 burning suns, ready to set the world on fire.
Thanks for the pass. What an amazing performance by our fellow KIPPsters from KIPP Sharpstown, the Phoenix Fire Spitters, led by their talented instructor, Mr. Parrish Bush. That was fire. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nyla Turner-Williams, proud alum of KIPP Voyage Academy for Girls, now attending KIPP Northeast College Preparatory, class of 2024. That is the year that I aspire to go to Prairie View A&M University.
And my name is Bethany Rivera, also from KIPP Voyage Academy for Girls, and alongside Nyla, I attend KIPP Northeast College Preparatory. Once I graduate KIPP, I look forward to going to the University of Alabama. Go Bama.
Today, we'd like to share a few words about our principal, or how we call it at KIPP, our school leader, Mrs. Newton, and the tremendous impact she has had on us. Sometimes her impact is making sure we're okay, and other times it's checking that we're on the right path to college.
The way she cares for us is absolutely stunning. For instance, she not only cares about how we're doing at school, she also cares about our life at home.
She continuously makes time for us even when she's as busy as can be. Her ability to push students makes a difference in our perspective of school.
We are confident to say on behalf of the rest of the students at KIPP Voyage that we has an incredible impact on the school and our community as a whole.
We are very proud of Mrs. Newton.
And it is our honor to invite her to the screen.
Please help us welcome Mrs. Fabia Newton.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my story with all of you today. Because of my inability to say no when Seba asks me to speak, some of you may already know bits of my story. Part of my story is my mother, who immigrated to the US in order to provide a better life for her future children. Additionally, my two other sisters, both of whom attended KIPP, then boarding school in Asheville, North Carolina, then college at Rice University and the University of Pennsylvania. After attending Dartmouth College, I decided to pursue a career in education through Teach for America. I was placed at KIPP Sharpstown, back in my old stomping grounds, to teach 6th grade science. Little did I know that I was working alongside my future husband, Chris Newton. Together, we've been working hard to provide opportunities and spaces for our students to feel loved the way that I felt when I was in the classroom as a KIPPster. And now, 9 years later, I have the opportunity of being the first KIPP alum school leader at the only all-girls KIPP school in the nation. I have now realized that in my line of work as a school leader, I've had to think critically about my why. I started to write this speech back in March when it was supposed to be an in-person event. And now, having to revisit this in the midst of what COVID-19 has done to my community, coupled with the riots and calls to action for justice and equity, sits heavy on my soul. Why do I continue to stay at KIPP after dedicating 9 years of my life to KIPP? Those are not even including my years during my childhood. Even though KIPP is changing, and change is always uncomfortable, I'm proud that KIPP is willing to undergo this transformation. A lot of proponents argue against these changes because KIPP has been a successful charter school program for a lot of students like me. However, I am proud to be part of an organization that isn't settling for just good enough. Why do I continue to do this work? My why is firmly grounded on 2 pillars, one of which resides in tragedy and the other in hope. Pillar 1, tragedy. During my first year as a teacher at KIPP Sharpstown, one of my students was tragically lost to domestic violence. This tragedy, that I typically do not speak about publicly, grounded me in realizing how important building relationships was in my line of work. I was disappointed and still haven't forgiven myself for not knowing enough about my student to see the signs. and she was my advisee. I should have been the person who knew so much about her. In my first year, I was so wrapped up in getting teaching right and making sure I had the perfect labs or delivered key points so that my students would master that day's exit ticket, that I didn't focus on the humanity of the students who were right in front of me, the humanity that my own former KIPP teachers saw in me. Despite being a highly academically performing student, my teachers took the time to know my family and knew when to provide support outside of the classroom when it became apparent that I needed it. After that tragedy, I made sure to see my students for who they were, just like my KIPP teachers did for me and continue to do for me. Because I know the impact having a personal relationship can do for a child's life, I went out of my way to make sure I knew something about them outside of academics. This pushed me to love my students in a way that ensured they knew I would be there for them. I've learned that it isn't just a foundation of strong academics we need our students to walk away with each year at KIPP. It is also a strong foundation of love that will help them through the hard days. The same kind of love I felt from my former KIPP teachers, letting me know that I never had to make this journey alone. Pillar 2, hope. When I think of my family's journey and the journey of my KIPPsters' families, it is all for the pursuit to build a better tomorrow. As I've continued my work at KIPP, this is a value we hold in common all over KIPP Texas and nationally. Every time I have a meeting with a parent or a meeting with a student, we can always agree on the fact that every decision we choose is for a better tomorrow. When I look at my nephew and cousins who attended some of the schools at this very campus and who have graduated from KIPP, every decision I make as a school leader is with them in mind. What kind of better tomorrow do I want them to have at our KIPP schools? This better tomorrow is one where the girls in my building know that they have a voice and a space to be unapologetically themselves. One where teachers build transformative relationships with their students so that 20 years later, they can continue to share life-changing moments with each other. One where families and community members have a voice in their education of their children. One where the school reflects their own values and identities. A better tomorrow where KIPP alumni are leading this work in large numbers, being the change makers in the seat at the table where they are making the decisions on the direction of KIPP. I am honored and humbled to be the first KIPPster on this journey of leading a school of such diverse and amazing girls who will one day be women who will have their own dreams and create their own better tomorrows. And I'm invigorated and empowered with knowing that I will not be the last. My why is so rooted in this organization and the dreams and hopes of the families who trust us with their babies day in and day out. I believe that though we haven't always gotten it right at KIPP, we listen, shift, and change to fit what is needed in our communities. Thank you so much for allowing me the space to share my why with all of you today. Thank you.
Thanks for those beautiful words, and thanks for all you do to help lead KIPP Houston. Hello, everyone. My name is Doug Fauché, and I'm a KIPP Houston Regional Board member. Along with my wife, Sarah, we're honored to be co-hosting the 2021 Luncheon with our good friends, Alicia and Sean Raymond. But before we talk about 2021, I need to give a big shout out to Allison and Troy Thacker for hosting the 2020 Luncheon this past March. Can you imagine trying to pull off a gala in Houston, Texas in March of 2020 in the middle of a pandemic? But you pulled it off. It was beautiful. It was inspirational. And we thank you. Now, you know, Sarah and I were KIPPnatized over 15 years ago when we took a tour of a KIPP high school campus. And I'll never forget leaving the tour and walking through the parking lot and Sarah grabbing my arm and looking at me with tears streaming down her face and saying, "We have to change everything we're doing." And so we did. See, we're first generation college graduates ourselves. In fact, today we fly the banners of Texas State University, Rice University, Baylor University, and the University of Texas. And so we have a deep appreciation for the value of a college education and the life-changing effects of it. And what more important thing could we be doing as a community than providing a high-quality education to all of our children? Now, of course, KIPP can't do that by itself. There are 1.1 million children in 17 independent school districts in the KIPP region, in the Houston region. But what we can do is lead by example and show the way and continue to help our kids get to and through college and lead fulfilling, meaningful lives. I'm more excited, Sarah and I both are more excited about that mission today than we were 15 years ago walking through that parking lot. And now I'd like to ask my friends Alicia and Sean Raymond to close us out.
Thank you, Doug. Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia Raymond.
And I'm Sean Raymond. And as Doug mentioned, we're all kipped up to be co-chairing the 2021 Luncheon. Alicia and I both attended public schools, and Alicia earned her degrees at the University of Texas and the University of Houston. I graduated from George Washington University and the University of Texas. As former public school teachers, Alicia and I remain committed to supporting great public schools that work with talented kids, especially KIPPsters. As Allison and Troy mentioned earlier, please consider donating through the text to give option or by visiting www.kipptexas.org/donate.
As a reminder, you can sign up for a virtual or in-person tour of any of our KIPP schools by emailing houstonevents@kipptexas.org.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
We look forward to connecting with you all again, hopefully this time in person, at the 2021 Luncheon.